Yo, what's up guys, and today I'm going to show you how to use the Odin and the Ares. Now, I'm not some Immortal 1 demon who's insanely good at the game, however, I have reached Ascendant 1 only using the Odin and the Ares. So even though I'm not the best player in the world, I still think I know a few tricks about these guns that you guys probably might not have known that can definitely help you guys get better at it. Because once again, these are literally the only guns that I've been using all the way until Ascendant. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is the difference between the Ares and the Odin. So the Odin is better than the Ares, and it's only because the Ares shoots 13 bullets a second and the Odin shoots 15.6 bullets a second. And keep in mind, at the bottom it says feature fire rate increase. Rate of fire increases over time with the Odin. So that basically means that after shooting, like, say for example, I don't know the specific number, but say you shoot 15 bullets with the Odin, then all of a sudden the fire rate starts to ramp up even more. So basically the time to kill with the Odin is way faster than the Ares. And on top of that, the Ares has 50 bullets compared to the Odin's 100. So it has way less of like a magazine for you to get multi-kills. So not only is the Odin better at killing people faster, but it's also better at getting multi-kills. So the Ares is basically like a very nerfed version of the Odin if you think about it. But with that out of the way, I'm going to talk about the Ares first. Hello, this is Editor Twigs here. I just wanted to say to not skip ahead in the video just yet, because even if you're here for the Odin, not the Ares, since I talked about the Ares first, the chunk of information is in this Ares section. Because since these guns are so similar, I basically gave the same tips and tricks, and I only repeated it vaguely in the Odin section. So I recommend watching the Ares part as well if you want to fully grasp the understanding of the Odin. But anyways, on to the video. So since this gun is worse than the Odin, it's pretty difficult to use, and people would widely consider it to be the worst gun in the game, especially with the frenzy, but it is still completely usable. This is actually a pretty good gun to buy if you're forcing. So like say you lose pistol round, this is a pretty good gun to buy because you can get a lot of thrifties with it. So these are LMGs, right? And with LMGs, they're pretty damn heavy, and so your movement speed is going to be slowed with these guns, and we all know how important movement is in Valorant, right? So say you just swing an angle like this with a heavy LMG, your movement speed is so slow you're just instantly gonna get one tapped. And now we all know with LMGs, they're more accurate when you're aimed in and crouched, right? Well, aiming in actually slows down your movement speed. So not only are you carrying this heavy LMG that's slowing your movement down, but also it's most accurate when you aim in. So you're already being slowed down by the gun and by aiming in. So if you peek an angle like this against a Vandal, your movement speed is so slow to where they're just instantly gonna one tap you. And so this is why these guns are generally considered to be hard to use, because you can't just peek angles normally like a Vandal. You actually have to think before taking any single fight. So say there was an enemy here, I would just probably jiggle peek it and like kind of shoot some warning shots at him, maybe try and get a chip damage like through the wall, because this is wall bangable, right? Or maybe I might just like jump peek it, just like let him just like get the info and maybe let him like walk up on me. But this is how you're actually supposed to use it. So if you want to genuinely take this fight, then you need to pair it up with something. Like you need to swing with a teammate, maybe your teammate flashes for you, or like say for example you're using a character that actually synergizes with these guns. So like for example, stim beacon, not only does this gun like make you move slow like I said before, but the stim counteracts that. It gives you movement speed, and on top of that it makes this gun shoot just as fast as an Odin with the stim. And so now you can peak this with the movement speed of a Vandal and also the fire rate of an Odin. And so like stimming the Ares up, and so like synchronizing the Ares with the stim beacon is really strong, and you can win most fights against the Vandal literally just by doing this. Okay, that's a little bit of whiff, but I cannot stress this enough. This applies to the Odin too, even though I'm just talking about the Ares right now. Do not ever just dry swing an angle like this, because if the enemy is right there and the enemy knows you're here and you guys are both holding each other, if you swing this, you're going to lose. And if you don't lose, that's just because you got lucky and the enemy whiffed. But you do not want to base your playstyle around just getting lucky kills, if that makes sense. Like, if you should lose this fight every single time against a Vandal, but you still get the kill, still, just never take the fight. It's never worth it. But yeah, the main thing is, just don't ever take a direct fight with this gun. Always, like, jiggle peek it, maybe, like, play around the walls. Maybe, like, if you want to take the fight, then you can stim it and then try and fight it. Or maybe just, like, jump peek it and then just, like, let them walk up to you. And then after they walk up to you, you can just, like, hold an off angle aimed in. Or, like, say they're finally walking up on you, then you can smoke them off. And then once they're smoked off, then they might come to you. Pause. They might push through the smoke, right? And these guns can actually be used as an SMG almost, because since they have so much bullets, like even though I'm running and gunning, you see how many bullets will hit the corner? So you can hold angles close like this, and if they push out the smoke, you can literally just run and gun them, and they can't hit you at all. So yeah, in an up-close fight, treat these guns like an SMG, basically. Don't just, like, sit still. But also, you can just choose to play an off angle as well. Just make sure they can't easily clear you. And when you're holding an angle like this with these guns, your fire rate is increased when you aim in. So if you're holding an angle, always aim in. There's no point in sitting like this, because it's not like you're going to be, like, mobile and like moving around. Like you're just going to be sitting aimed in. That's all you need to do. The reason why people don't aim in the first place in Valorant is because you have better movement speed when you're just like having only your crosshair. So just make sure you're aiming in when you're holding angles. And one thing that I even like to do, which is kind of dumb, is like say something's smoked off and I have a stim down. I will, instead of just like wanting the movement like this, since the stim counteracts the movement speed, I will literally just be aimed in like this. And if someone pushes through the smoke, I will literally just like start fighting them like this. And it actually works too. But this is a tip that Brock gave in his Odin guide, but it's not really worth it to ADS, and I can see how that's true because, once again, like I've been stressing a lot, is the movement speed is already slow with these guns, and aiming in just adds on to that. So he kind of says that, like, just playing around these angles here, trying to play the wall bangs, and, like, getting cheap shots is way better than just, like, aiming in like this, because you're just bound to lose the fight. It's always better to just, like, kind of play corners and, like, play a little bit ratty and kind of play like a PUSSY. Not trying to get demonetized on YouTube. But yeah, I still aim in. It's, like, situational when to know when to do it. But you mainly just want to be hip firing most of the time, unless if you're, like, holding something or, like, taking a long-range fight. But even then, like, if you're taking a long-range fight like this, like I said again, you're most likely going to lose. But anyways, onto the Odin. This is basically just, like, a buff version of the Ares, so the tips are basically going to be the same. Once again, if the enemy is right here and he knows you're there and you know he's there and you want to take the fight, if you swing it just like this, then you're most likely going to lose. So, like, you want to pair with a flash or a stim, and then you'll have a way easier time of killing them. Or maybe you just want to play around the corners, like I said again. Just kind of play around the corners, bait him, maybe jump peek it, and then let him come to you. And then after he comes to you, literally just hold the off angle, obviously aimed in because you shoot faster when you're aimed in. So always aim in when you're holding an angle. Or say he starts pushing you and you don't want to take the off angle, you just want to smoke him off instead. Just hold the smoke just like this. And since you're run and gunning, you don't want to be aimed in because you want the movement speed. So, like, once they peek it, then you can just, like, start running and gunning. Or, like, for example, if you have the stim beacon down while it's smoked off, then it cancels out the slower movement speed that aiming in gives you, so you can now go like this with the stim beacon. That is another possibility. But yeah, at the end of the day, the Odin is really just like a better version of the Ares, because it literally just has faster fire rate and also more magazine. But yeah, this is pretty much all there is to these guns. A lot of people think they're really just like crouch and spray, but I feel like these guns are much more deeper than that, because you can't literally just swing an angle with this gun, because you're gonna get one tapped above the rank of platinum, where people start developing like the slightest bit of brains, even though like people think diamond's not that high of an elo, but people start actually knowing and like understanding the game a little bit, where like if you just make a dumb play like swing with an Odin, you're just getting one tapped. But yeah, you literally have to worry about like positioning, like whether you're aimed in or not, like your movement, like what angles you're trying to peek, because you can't just peek an angle normally like a Vandal. Like this gun is deeper than just running and gunning. When it's just like with a Vandal, you can literally just swing it like this, and if you have godlike aim, like you're just killing the guy immediately. But you can never take a fight like this with an Odin. But yeah, hope you guys learned a thing or two, and I'm gonna include some clips at the end of me using the Odin and Ares, just to kind of like show you guys like what my gameplay looks like in game. Just a fair warning, I don't have the best aim, but I do use some of these mechanics. Also, I want to say thank you guys for 10k subscribers. I really appreciate all the support, and I can't believe I made it this far in only just 4 months. But anyways, on to the clips.
These guys are
Enemy C. Smoke's down. Stim beacon down.
oh fuck the fellow.
Now.
Nice! Oh, he dies!
On now.
Die ult.
Go for it.
Line him up. Calling it.
Taken down.
One enemy.
Bro, you're a genius, Waylay.
Okay.
Wait a
Time
minute.
for a protein. Launching smoke. Open up the sky. Stim beacon down.
Spike down A.
You hold
One
that.
enemy remains.
Fuck, 101.
Yeah, you can always jump out of the both of you.
Jet 101.
Actually, not real.
One enemy remaining.
That's 3.
Okay.
One left standing.
Yeah, that's both of them.
One enemy
Enemy
remaining.
down.
What the?
Ready. Bag attack.
Yeah, this game is actually bad.
What is all yo? That was crazy with that weapon, bro. Nah, this is
Bro, keep spamming. Cause noise.
One enemy remaining.
You're
Ollie, you're actually